Hey family, so I had a white woman reach out to me on my YouTube channel because she had seen of my last video I did talking about how white women can be an ally to fight against racism, prejudice, and bigotry. And so she said, can you please do a teaching on the relationship that white women and black women have had in America since slavery and on up. And I thought that was a great question. Tonight I'm going to give you a quick Cliff Note version of it, and then tomorrow I'm going to upload 2 in-depth videos. Something that sticks out in my mind that really defines to me how white women and black women are different. There's a picture of when Ruby Bridges, I don't know if you remember her. She was a little girl back, I think it was in the 50s. The school, she was the first black girl to integrate a school, one of the schools. And out front, of course, there were white men yelling and screaming, nigga, nigga, and the bus that she was on, pushing the bus. And then next to those white men were white women yelling the same thing to a child. I feel safe speaking on behalf of every black woman in America. We would never have done that if it was a busload of white children. One thing about us black women, we know the value of a child's life. I'm not saying you white women don't. But what kind of hatred is in you? And when I say you, I'm not talking about you yourself. What kind of hatred was in those white women during slavery and during Jim Crow era and during Reconstruction and during civil rights that would make them yell and call a little girl a nigger and to go back to her house, go back to Africa, go back. The hatred. Pull up pictures online. Pull up some pictures and see in those protests against when they were trying to integrate schools. Look at the pictures. It's not just white men out there. It's white women too, yelling and chanting, nigga, nigga. So no, the relationship between white women and black women in America has been shady at best. The fact that you would never even, you know what, you've heard this all the time. I've heard this. Someone has, this white woman used to tell her, not white woman, this Asian lady used to tell her children all the time, if you ever get lost somewhere, find a black woman. Because we are Mother Earth. It's just in our nature. We're not going to hurt no child. We will kill for a child. We will hurt someone if they hurt a child. It's not in our nature. So if the tables was turned and that bus was full of little white kids, you would never ever found any black women pushing no bus with no white children on. I don't care what color the kids were. Why? Because we don't have that kind of soul in us. You know the kind of treacherous person and spirit you must have in your bloodline to enslave people, to take them from one continent to another and enslave them like white people have done here in America. Do you really think that just dies out when great-great-great-granddaddy Massa died? No. That kind of hatred is a curse, and it's passed down in generations. It's spiritual, honey. And unless you come against it and renounce it and rebuke it, that spirit still can lay dormant in you, white women. I'm telling you what I know. During slavery, your breasts were so precious. Your little sweet, frail white breast. Till you had the slave woman who was already nursing her babies. We nursed your babies. Did you know that? It's called wet nursing. We nursed your babies. Took care of your children while you sit out there on the porch drinking mint juleps. Your white fragile tears, your white fragile emotions. You couldn't handle breastfeeding your white baby. So let the big black slave woman do it. And that same child of yours that she breastfed ended up being her master as years went on. This is the reality. Now, again, all white people are not a monolith. And I know that none of you today enslaved anyone. And I'm getting real sick and tired of the ignorant hate mail that I'm getting from white men, particularly. A hit dog will holler. And white women, sometimes I feel sorry for y'all because the hatred and vitriol just from the comment sections on my YouTube that I get from white men, I can't imagine what them white men are saying and doing to y'all in your house. Y'all better get some sister strength. Y'all better you better put on your imaginary sister cape and tell that white man to kick rocks. Because if he has that kind of hate in his heart towards black people, he could never love you and treat you right. Because that kind of hate comes from Satan himself. So, that's just a brief history on how white women, yes, and they're not all, listen, of course, there were abolitionists that helped, white women helped. There have been allies. They're all up through civil rights, all up through time. No one has always not done something. But at the end of the day, you know, the female white fragility and white tears and white privilege, it has created a divide between us. It really has. So I'm going to go into depth later, but I just wanted to address that. And I want to thank the young lady, the white lady who sent that to me. When I teach this stuff, when I'm just talking to you all, this is not to cause a separation between the races. It's just to shine a light on things, because I'm telling you, if history is not taught, it will not be taught. Not here in America. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.